What's going on, guys? The time has come for session number this many of Tales from the Greenwich Colonies, our second ever session in Fantasy Grounds, our first ever session in Fantasy Grounds, where me and my big YouTuber brain has figured out how to put that in OBS. Super stoked again, once again. Thanks to Doug from Fantasy Grounds for providing us with a copy and some playtest stuff to, see if this program's any good and stuff. As always, Jason, Antiki, and Ross, who is jamming, not Tommy. Tommy is married and no friend. Thank you guys so much for your support on Patreon, allowing us to do these super cool things, hanging out with us on your own time, or, GMing the thing. Levi, thank you for killing all of your friends and Hail the Gorilla King, and also hanging out with us. Again, Josh is not with us. Josh is having internet snafus. He'll bring in, I'm going to say it, Piss Kicker Perez just as soon as he can. But for now, we're on a boat. Ross?
Welcome back to Tales from the Greenwich Colony, where last we left off, apparently we learned that most people distrust druids and we should consider them all to be potential baby killers.
Yeah?
Only the important people.
Only the
important people, But yeah. But in all seriousness, welcome back to Tales from the Greenwich Colonies, our D&D, or D&D, Pathfinder 2nd Edition Gestalt gameplay. Yes, I know we're playing Gestalt with what is essentially beta rules of a system that's not even out yet, but hey, it's fun, it's exciting, and we get to test out homebrew before the official stuff's even fully out. That being said, it's great to have everyone here today. We have Tommy, the host, playing Mirrodin. That's not his full name, but I can't speak the different languages that goes on in the English Isles. I'm not going to say one specific one because I'm not entirely certain. I think you said mostly Scottish?
Yeah,
or Celtic?
Gaelic.
Gaelic.
O'Brien is easy. O'Brien's not a hard name to say.
Well, yeah, but every other name is, and if I try to explain your character more, then I have to name more names, and then I'm just like, nope.
Joe will.
We also are joined by Levi, the Gorilla King himself, playing Elu Swan Song. We are joined by Buffalo, who's playing Bryn, and then we're also joined as Bowser Mithril-Fist. So, where we last left off, you all on Twitch might not have seen it. For one thing, we were playing this a bit with just a recording for the first part, so that way we can make sure we were comfortable within the Fantasy Ground setup, that we would be able to stream it live. So, before you get all worried, don't worry. Last bit that you guys have missed so far has just been the group coming together, meeting each other, and realizing why they are what they're doing on this boat. Namely, they're being warned about elementals, because being close to the crown of the world and all that sort of stuff, and apparently they can come down from the crown of the world, and apparently there are portals up there. It's a very concerning thing. The captain's been around a lot of places, so he seems somewhat knowledgeable. He was able to call out a bluff Mirrodin made not by noticing he was lying, but rather just by sheer knowledge of the world's geography. And as such, he knows what he's talking about for the most part. With that said, it's been roughly since Mirrodin's been rescued. By this point, Mirrodin, you've kind of gathered the rough situation about where you're going, what all this whole Greenwich Colonies you're heading to is, and all that sort of stuff. For the most part, the captain is content to let you just ride it out to get back to the ride out to the colonies. At that point,
I guess the first thing Mirrodin would like to do is, I'm gonna, assuming we aren't just immediately attacked to death by elementals, I want to make a nature check, and I'm gonna guidance myself. So the total comes out to a 21 to predict the weather.
It seems calm.
Okay.
From where you're standing.
By predict the weather, I mean for the next.
It seems calm.
24 hours.
It seems calm, and from what you can gather from the signs and the way the wind's blowing and everything, some weather. It was very rare. It would be very rare, but at the same time, storms travel very differently out here. They tend to travel faster and quicker, and they can be more fierce or less fierce because, once again, they don't have to deal with pesky land and whatnot. Storms are very unpredictable on the oceans. As someone that's traveled a bit.
It says the man who hangs out in the Carolinas.
Oh my god.
That's fair. Okay.
Help me! The entire world's going to turn into a flood zone!
Not for you. You're in the safe. Anyway, so I guess Mirrodin will just, in that case, assuming we're not in immediate jeopardy, Mirrodin will just find, like, I'll probably just lean up against one of the masts and have my shield, like, against my knee. Just kind of watching the horizon.
Okay. At this point, you all would know that you're roughly about 3 days out from the Greenwich colonies. Still got a good journey before you. For the most part, it's not like it was before, where you guys have been on here for a few weeks. You're in the end stretch. And as you're just kind of sitting there, breathing in and out, Mirrodin, the rest of you guys are probably just going about doing a few chores here and there to help out the sailors and just to be useful. Because, once again, as you've been told repeatedly by the captain, you are to be prepared for a fight at any and all times. Very quickly, shooken by the sound of the very loud halfling from before, who found Mirrodin, saying, "Horizon!" The first thought that goes through all your heads is, damn, that little thing's got some lungs. And the second thought is, wait, a storm?
Mirrodin thinks this is very suspicious. Mirrodin's gonna roll a nature check. I don't know why I went kind of southern fried there at the end. Why didn't I have my mods? Put my mods on that. Also, it's a 13 after I cast guidance.
Once again, as I've said before, you're on the open seas. This sort of thing can change pretty quickly. Once again, Bowser, you're also on the open seas. Weather is unpredictable.
I'm from the mountains. I don't know anything about the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if you guys were aquatic, if you guys had some reason to have a background that would give you a lot of time on voyage, so I might give you more, but for the most part, it's this is not your natural environment, and there are no symbols that you can really read. For example, you can't see any tree leaves turning up, so you kind of don't really have any
Makes sense
to look for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't help that it's also just ocean all around you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sailors kind of just look around a bit. Din comes up with his first mate. Looks over to you, Mirrodin. Druid!
Hi.
Would you mind coming up here?
And so I shall. I'll pick up my shield from my knee and strap my arm in and go huffing and puffing and jogging over in that direction.
Yeah, he's back up here.
I see. Okay.
I presume you see where he is? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's up there by the steering wheel. And you see the captain kind of grab a small metallic tube from Thomas, the boy beside him, his first lieutenant, and from what you gather, his sort of surrogate son. And he just kind of extends it out to look towards the horizon. He's looking through a tube at the horizon. Your people are not so behind they haven't heard of telescopes, before you ask.
Fair enough. Okay.
And he just kind of studies the horizon, and there's gods. Yeah, take a look for yourself, and hands you the telescope.
And so I will.
Would you roll me a perception check?
Mirrodin will say a quick prayer. Cast guidance. That's 20! Plus 5.
And see the elementals in the storm. It is very clearly being caused by them. And as you kind of just very quickly lock onto where they are, the captain says, "As I expected." He looks over to you. How good are you dealing with the elementals?
Here's a nature check to figure that out. Oh, 3 plus nothing is... Well, not plus nothing. It's plus 5. So an 8. The roll was to determine, the strengths and weaknesses of various elementals.
You don't see any fire ones, so, the obvious weakness is counted out. Okay. You only see, really water and... You only really see water and wind elementals kind of flowing towards you.
Okay. And I'm assuming that 8 doesn't tell me anything special about them.
You can see... Because it's pretty clear, you can see air elementals and water elementals. You don't really see any fire elementals or earth elementals.
Okay.
As to what type of elementals they are, you don't know.
Well, let's see if I can.
Quick question.
Good.
Would I have had a chance to take 20 on a nature roll and warned previous that there may be elementals going through my brain for what combat-wise against them?
I won't give you a 20, but I will allow you to roll, and if you roll anything less than a 10, it will be a 10.
So that'd be 14.
Most concerning thing you can think of, right off the top of your head with that roll, would be water elementals, because they would be able to use even the smallest amount of water to create more water to essentially create many waves that would impact you all and push you around. They could push you into the ocean. That's your first major concern, is potentially being knocked overboard. Because if you're knocked overboard, you're in the water. You're in literally the worst environment for you to be in when fighting in a water elemental.
I'm in their element, you could say.
Ha! Ha!
Indeed. But yeah, the captain kind of once again points out to the rest of the sailors, all hands below deck! And the sailors start to dissipate down below the deck. The captain turns to you, Mirden. The sails should be fine. Knowing these damn things, they won't be going after the sails, but rather seek havoc. I expect them to try and knock over the ship before they try and actually attack one of us. So if we can draw their attention to us, then they'll be focused on us first. Protective creatures. They'll watch after the terrain, he says, kind of just once again turning his focus back to the encroaching elementals.
Mirden will nod and just continue to watch the sky.
Yeah, it's just getting worse by the minute. Rapidly worse. At this point, like, without even a roll, people can tell, yeah, this is quicker than is naturally acceptable even for the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the sailors go down below the deck. Tom is kind of, at one point, even starts to head down and says, Captain, you coming? And the captain just laughs barely and says, Thomas, lad, I hope that was a rhetorical question. To which the Thomas sighs and says, of course it was, sir. Stay safe. And he goes underneath.
Okay, are there any lifelines rigged, ropes between the masts, anything like that?
I'm going to steal something here for Somersault Hall. Essentially, you all have 5 rolls each that you can use to get yourself prepared for various different things that may occur while fighting these elementals.
Okay.
Rather, they are not creatures to randomly provoke, at least not these ones. They are only attacking because they feel as though you all are threatening what they consider to be their domain.
When you say 5 rolls to prepare ourselves, what kind of things are you meaning?
Come up with something.
Like skill challenges, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you can make up your own things. I'm giving you guys you guys have options to do your own things. I'll tell you if some takes too much time where it will be counted as more than one roll, even if you only roll once, but it's basically like you have some time to prepare. Do you want to try and prepare anything?
Makes sense. Well, I think Mirden is going to spend his 5 actions, at the risk of sounding like I'm copping out on you guys, guidancing the 5 best actions for that +1 to whatever skill check that might happen to be. Because my spells aren't going to be super relevant until combat actually breaks out.
So you're essentially just spending your time guidancing and assisting everyone else?
Mirden's just going to sit and pray, yeah.
Alright. What about the rest of you all?
I'll go with a nature check. Again, 16 plus 4. So 20 to see if I can figure anything out. To weaknesses. Will my arrows actually do any damage to the water elemental? That sort of thing.
Brent seems to know what he's talking about, so Mirden will pray in his direction, and the wind will pick up around Bren's hood. But the thing about it is, like, I am definitely targeting Bren with a druid spell, so he has the ability. He can say no to it. Is the thing. It's not something that I'm forcing on him.
Ooh.
Relevant for reasons.
With that roll you got there, Bren, that roll to figure out if there's any really particular sort of things you need to worry about with the elementals. Or elementals. These are very clearly like weaker elementals that are just being sent out to take care of you. Like it's basically sort of like a send out a few flies to dissuade them from you all from going any further in their direction.
Okay.
So you would not expect to come across any elementals that would actually like resist non-magical weapons. Now, that being said, water elementals are known to resist fire, so you're not going to really get any advantage if you have fire spells.
Mirrodin would definitely suggest we don't use fire on the ship. That would be bad for all of us.
Ironically enough, they don't really have any major weaknesses, though, which is a major disadvantage for you all.
Yeah.
They have some things they resist, once again, fire, but they don't really resist anything. As for the air elementals, while they would do less damage than the water elementals would, they're more annoying in the fact that they can attack from a distance. Once again, their attacks have a reach. So, while they can't push you around and wouldn't do as much damage as a water elemental would, they are far faster than a water elemental and can attack, once again, further away than a water elemental could.
Okay.
Bowser, what was that roll for?
Skill warfare. Trying to see if there's anything I know about fighting water elementals in particular.
I better guidance that one too.
You've had a couple of scuffles with earth elementals in your time in the mountains. Those are the most uncommon things. First guess for you would be don't use fire or anything on them, but if you are going to fight a water elemental, perhaps try and limit like how much water is on the deck. Like the first thing that comes to your mind is and find like a sack of flour or something that can absorb the water on the ship deck so as to weaken the elemental. Because if there's no water on the deck, then it will have very little water to work with, and that will weaken it. So you think to yourself, well, I can't really get rid of the air because I need that to breathe, but I could potentially do something about the water. That's the first real thing that comes to your mind.
Okay, then I'd run downstairs trying to see, hey, do we have any spare sacks of flour? Anything absorbent?
Tom kind of looks up from where he's been taking inventory, checking on everybody. Potentially, why?
Because when they're actually on the deck fighting us, if we can get rid of the extra water, it'll weaken them.
Oh, I see. See, here. He runs into one of the back rooms and just comes back out with a full sack of flour.
All right. I'd grab it up and deck and would try to spread it along the largest area that sack would cover. The area of, if they come in this area, whatever excess water is there, basically just turn into dough or, it wouldn't be usable by the elementals.
I've kind of roughly drawn an area where you've managed to spread it out. I imagine you kind of wanted to make like a central last stand sort of area. You could also put like a couple of splotches around the deck to make it, like more spots that they could just fly over and become weakened by. Like just put down a few splotches here and there to make them weaker.
Okay.
I'll give you one here.
Does Elu have anything? Before I just burn out all my guidances.
So, main things. Elu is like not dumb, but he's 10 intelligence, 8 wisdom, not super planning ahead. About the only thing that Elu's thinking of is like tying himself to with a length of rope to the mast to protect the middle of the ship and to not get flung out into sea.
Yeah, you can do that. Tie yourself too, though.
I was thinking. Oh my! somewhere around this one.
Yeah, you can do that.
And Elu's current plan is when they first get here to try to soothe them with beautiful music.
Classic.
Yeah, I can't say anything other than classic bar to that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's got to be the first attempt.
of course, yeah. So those red spots are flower spots. I will say that for the purposes of mechanics, to everyone who is watching, playing, / who probably knows a thing or two about elementals out of game, which is being in those places would count as removing the water elementals waterbound, which would eventually make them slow to 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really smart roll there, Tiki.
I'll rig some ropes between the mass and along the lines from the mass to the sides of the ship. You know, trying to, lifelines.
So, lifelines, okay. I'll draw some arrows then. There's one lifeline. There's another lifeline.
And if we could get the ones off of here through the flower sections, that would be a good idea.
There's another one you got. Yep.
Okay.
And then after this, I'm going to say we're going to go into combat, if that's all right with you all.
Seems good to me.
And you want one like through the actual flower section? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, you can totally do that. Like, you guys have time. This isn't like in between sort of ways. This is like you guys have time to properly do some prepping.
Yeah.
Because once again, and there's not many things you can do about incoming weather. You can at least see incoming weather from pretty darn far away. Yeah. For the purposes of these for these ropes, I will say that if you spend a reaction, and if you are attacked by an attack such as the wave attack from the lesser water elementals, if you spend a reaction and you are within like a square that's near, next to, or adjacent, or you get pushed in a direction that's near that line, you can spend a reaction to stop yourself from being pushed any further. Basically, if you get pushed into one of those lines, you can hold on to them. You can grab onto them.
That's the plan.
Makes sense.
All right, so
Now,
just spending the rest of my time stretching out.
probably getting a few shots of that vodka in, so that way you're all nice and ready, warm, comfy.
Just limbered up, that's all.
Mirden's going to
Alright,
move
then.
adjacent to
And with that-
Bowser if I have time.
Yeah, you guys have time. Feel free to. All right, would you guys please position yourselves where you want to be when the combat breaks out?
Ooh.
Elu,
Yeah.
do make a note. You can't move 50 feet further from the more than 50 feet away from the mast you're at. You're like right next to.
Sounds good.
Removing the rope.
So he made
You
himself
have
a
around
leash
the waist.
rather than just like a
Yeah, rather than
himself.
attempting to try and reach out for these safety lines, he just made it so that way he has a leash.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Hey, I started doing that before I heard about the safety lines thing.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely fair
I'd already
valid
started.
technique.
Yeah.
I want to reward you guys for being clever.
I legitimately thought he was trying to siren-proof himself. Just, oh no, tied.
Yeah,
no,
if what he should have done was actually attached his lead to the rope that's connecting the two masts.
Oh, that'd have been really good. Ooh.
Yeah, but that feels smarter than I would be, so I'm good with this.
All right, then. So we all good and ready to go.
Yep, I would. If it's possible, I'd like to begin the encounter with my shield raised.
Sure.
I'll start out back here by the captain.
I'll be entering Tiger Stance.
Okay. Aside from the captain, please do be within a square. The captain's not directly in a square because it looks aesthetically pleasing for him to be positioned there. That's simply it, you know?
I guess I should zoom in on that so Twitch can see. It does indeed look aesthetically pleasing for him to be at the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, oops,
he's at the
I've made
wheel.
him small. Curse you,
Oh
fantasy
gosh,
grounds.
darn it, Tommy.
Large person.
Am I
I
allowed to
trust
still
you.
curse Nolan T? Because we're on fantasy ground. Yeah, I'm gonna curse you, Nolan T! Anyway, moving forward. That's never not fun.
Is that dead yet?
Nope. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't care.
I
Normally.
kind of don't either. Well, I mean, bad things are bad, but also if you hold down control and zoom the mouse wheel, you can make your token bigger or smaller in fantasy grounds. I'm so used to saying in Roll20. Anywho.
But with that said, very quickly out of the waters, as you all are readying yourself, the storm seemingly combs around you for a second before you hear a swoosh, 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 as several entities just form around the deck out of the ocean, and the sound of wind getting much higher as creatures made entirely of air just float down into the sound to engage with you all in combat. And with that, I'm going to need you all to roll. You know what? You can make an argument if you want to. If you don't want to use perception, you want to use another stat, let me know why, and I will accept or unaccept that.
I'm okay.
Okay,
With it. So I have a 19. That 15 has a plus 4.
Well, we had already perceived them. I'm already in my stance, so I was going to try to see if I could roll an acrobatics check.
I will accept that.
Okay, I'm feeling performance because I want to be on the cutting edge of soothing them.
Mine was a
Can I just
perception.
say that whoever's dice are the light green, I think that was Elu. That's a very pretty dice color. Well done. You spent a lot of time in the fantasy grounds crafting your craft.
I did play a little around with it, but are you okay with me using performance for initiative?
Yes.
Okay, so that's now an 8 instead of just a sad 4.
Bowser, you're up first.
Time to see a Gestalt Rogue Monk in action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Now I'm going to roll horribly.
Yeah, it's always how it is.
Roll bad. Roll bad for me. Roll bad for Papa Mac.
And so it was.
13 does hit. It is flat-footed, so it will trigger your sneak attack.
Nice. Ugh.
12.
Ugh.
Oh, God.
So many.
Roll that sweet D6.
Oh, I'm kind of sad.
Okay.
So 13 damage total.
That's still quite a bit of damage.
Oh, yeah, you take a chunk out of it, a massive chunk, as you just, you all watch as he actually seemingly, parts the water with just a single, the first kind of swipe goes wide, but the second wipe, he digs into the water of the creature and just rips it, almost all the way down the middle.
The only good water is the stuff I make brew with!
All right. Bryn, you're up next.
arrows to water elemental 3.
Alrighty then.
Here we go.
7 misses. It's not a fumble, but it does miss.
Standard. For me.
Ooh.
A 2 is a fumble, though. That shot, unfortunately, cuts through the safety line, and you just curse yourself underneath the breath as a boom rustles across the sky. Thunder does not seem very happy. Anything else you want to do?
Just hold in this area to keep the captain safe.
I mean, this thing very clearly has its attention on you now. Mirden.
Alrighty, so for two actions and 1 spell point, Mirden sees the storm forming all around him, and although everyone's lives are definitely in danger, this is home for him, and Mirden will just kind of open himself to the elemental energies surrounding him and say a word in the old tongue. Hold his hand out, a javelin made of lightning forms. I cast Tempest Surge, targeting the one that Bowser just kitty clawed. It is a DC 14 reflex save.
That critically succeeds.
Alright, I believe that's just flat no damage.
Yeah, you throw the javelin at the thing, but once again, it opens wider than you expected from the kitty claw and just flies right through the open parts of the water elemental
Alrighty.
and dissipates in the distance.
Yick. I don't think there's really anything I can do for one action other than, Mirden will just raise his shield and pass.
Smart move, because now it's the enemy's turns. Specifically, up first is this elemental down here. Bren, the one down here, very, turns its head, well, what appears to be roughly a head. It almost looks like it's made out of the body itself is constantly changing shape, but what you assume to be the head looks kind of like a turtle. It's unsettling, to be honest. Just turns to look at you and begins sloshing towards you. You can only move 15 feet, so that's 5, 10, 15. That's one action. 5, 10, 15. That's another action. And it's going to come up beside you and to try to attack you with a wave attack. Does a 22 hit?
I believe so. My armor class is 15.
Yeah, that hits. It does not critically hit, but it does hit. So he will deal to you 7 points of bludgeoning damage as he pushes you back, hitting you with this wave, and you fly. You feel the impact, and it sweeps you off your feet in a bit, causing you to. You don't move the full 10 feet because you actually kind of end up hitting yourself against the steering wheel, taking another point of bludgeoning damage. As the wave just pushes you into the steering wheel, the captain kind of goes, "Oh, careful!" This one doesn't like the fact that you're casting lightning, so this air elemental flies around, and you kind of hear as you turn to your left. Mirden, and see one of the air elementals coming closer to you. It's basically on the ground. Not entirely on the ground, but it is basically on the ground. And it does just kind of raise its hand up to you, Iron Man sort of style, and attempts to blast you with just a powerful, gusting breeze.
Does it ever pass through the range of MacLeod?
It does, but it doesn't trigger a reaction. That's an 8. That's a natural 1. That's a crit fail. So it tries to boom at you with the Iron Man sort of attack, but flower actually flies up in front of you, and you just kind of step back a bit. And as the creature kind of recoils back from the flower, it actually ends up getting itself tangled a bit in the safety line above. But yeah, that's that one's turn. That one did not have a good turn. Let's see if this water elemental over here, who does not like you, can have a better turn. Doesn't appear to notice the flower until it's right up on top of you, and then it's noticeably moving slower, and the body itself even starts to look more and more like it's made of paste. Fortunately, that doesn't stop it, though. Does a 17 hit you?
A 17 would just hit with my shield raised, yeah.
Alright then. So once again, this is going to be 1d6 plus 1 damage against you. It kind of just blushes at you with a bit of this paste, splashing up onto your shield. You block that, or do you take it?
I will take the 3.
Record.
Because wooden shield hardness is 3. If it was a 1 or a 2, I would block. But I don't want to dent my shield right away.
No, save it for when you're on dying, basically. And it just impacts with your shield, and you kind of... The flower obviously negatively impacts the water elemental far more than it does you, but it's still not the most even ground for you to stand on, so you nearly lose a bit of your footing as this splash just kind of pushes you back a bit. Alright, next up. Bowser, the one in front of you reforms, and instead of having the original turtle sort of head it have, it now very clearly has the head of a shark. And it's going to try and strike at you. I presume a 9 misses?
16.
Alright, but it's not a fumble. Well, I never said these were the smartest creatures. So yeah, the first couple of strikes, you just kind of duck and dive. This thing is pretty sluggish. The major thing it's got going for it is the fact that it's just bigger. I presume an 8 doesn't hit you, but is that a fumble?
No,
Alright, so
it's only half.
Alright, so it's just constantly swinging at you. You just, duck, dive, weed, stall. You're not even making the fancy dodges. It's very, very easy and telegraphed, and you don't even really need to focus all that much on it to defeat it. This air elemental, however, on the other part, is going to come up over here, kind of near you as you're fighting with its ally, and it's going to try and blast you with a gust of air. I presume a 15 misses.
My AC is 16.
That one does require a bit of a fancier dodge, as you just sort of You do the sort of drunken, like, fall backwards sort of dive to avoid it once more. But once again, a 12 misses, and you're aware of it now, so it's just a simple sidestep.
And that's the kip up.
Yeah.
He said I fell down. That's the kip up.
Oh yeah, that's the kip up. Like push up. That last one looks pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie, as it's very clear this dwarf knows what he's doing. Elu, you're up. You're tied to a mast.
I will now inspire courage.
Hey,
So
I feel like we all
Tommy,
need to
you
invest in like little crappy like $2 harmonicas from the Walmart and just cause my channel to lose all of its following. Just
but yeah, no, it's just a nice little do.
Fair enough. So what does Inspire Courage do in the playtest again?
Magic though.
yeah.
+1 hit damage, +1 saves versus fear.
Nice.
And how far does that reach?
I looked it up. I'm pretty sure just 30 feet. No, this is 60 feet.
Yeah,
All right,
it
so-
hits all the allies then.
Anywhere on the boat.
Yeah.
Wait, 60 feet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's everywhere on the boat.
The best part is that I am also my ally.
Yep.
I'm my own friend.
That means I hit a little better with my glaive.
You see, when I tell people I'm my own friend, they look at me weird. Why is that?
Yeah, but I'm a really persuasive goblin, so it's a little different. They look at me weird anyway,
Yeah,
so, like, what's
fair.
the difference?
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, so this has a +5 on it,
There it is. Man, that is a pretty color.
22. What are you rolling to hit?
and I was going for the air elemental, because the water elemental looks weaker right now, so I want to get rid of the one that's not as weak.
Okay, 17 does hit. Roll your damage.
So, 22 wouldn't crit this.
No. No, you roll what you need to
So
hit.
11.
11 damage. Flat up honest with you.
Oh,
it
wait,
just need.
12. Because
Okay, it's
+1
dead.
damage
It's
from
just flat out dead.
Inspired Courage.
That's its HP.
Nice!
In a single strike, you just slide over, kind of like toot, and just shink into the air elemental, causing it to just rapidly, just like
That's a good
away.
feeling.
Nice.
As it dies with the sound of a popped.
Yep. Basically, it sounds like eldritch horror-y at first, and then it just turns into a carnival sound, and it's just kind of like
Huh. I'm used to things starting off as carnival sounds and ending with eldritch horror.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Once again, it's weird. It takes all the tension out of the moment, to be honest, to a degree.
That sounds like Elu's job.
Yep. Up next, Bowser.
How
are you doing?
So I have a tune now.
Mm-hmm.
Upon hearing the music, the drunkard monk would start to sing.
Uh-oh.
Give me a flagon, a barrel, a wagon, give me a flask, a pot, or a pail. Keep it pouring till I be snoring, and let me drink that bugman's ale. And so I would start singing whilst I fight.
I don't speak Dwarven. I think that's supposed to be Dwarven.
That's common.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm saying
20
it in
hits.
common. Can I just roll all my attacks first and then damage?
As you're saying that, you're just kind of sinking the and let's drink that bugman's ale. You just kind of like stick your hand into the chest of this lesser water elemental and crush what little pebble was essentially its core as it just slooshes down onto the ground in a puddle of water.
Like I said, that second attack wasn't even supposed to be made. I was trying to let it go, but I didn't know where to drop it.
Fair.
That's fine. I understand.
Trying to get there with my second action, and then my second attack. 18.
That hits.
There, I was supposed to be.
I'll allow it for now.
I forgot I could actually go through my ally square.
That's fair.
Yeah. Just once again a note, I will allow that, but please do keep that in mind for future. So yes, that does trigger sneak attack. 9 points of damage. Mirrodin, as you're kind of just like, oh good. Elu, is good at taking care of these air
Goblin
elementals.
flies
You
over
don't
your
even-
head, vaults over your head.
Yeah. You basically just jump up grab the rope above Mirrodin, use it to swing over him, and then as you're coming down, just slash at the water elemental with the downward force, cutting it practically into ribbons. If it wasn't for the fact it was incorporeal, y'all were certain that would have removed good chunks of flesh of whatever was there in front of you.
Nice.
We march by day, we drink by night, though sun and snow and through sun and snow and gale. So have a round a pint of glass and drink that bugman's ale.
All right. That's inspiring. I like this. Brain, you're up.
Okay, first question. Did I lose my bow from the way?
No.
Okay, ditch the bow.
All right. Just drop it.
Draw a pick.
All right.
And step is one action, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's 5 foot for a step.
Yep.
So
Stride is
there.
your speed.
Here we go. So it'd be +2, +3. So all of 13.
Unfortunately, that misses as you just drive the pick forward. It cuts into the water elemental, just splooshing it down onto the water, but nothing that seems to actively hurt it. It just seems more annoyed. Once again, you were about to be surrounded for a second there, and then all of a sudden your allies came in and saved you.
I'm gonna just full Gandalf out and just roar. Just the of the old man in Draconic as my right hand forms a blue dragon's fist. I cast Shocking Grasp. Now, I have a question about Shocking Grasp. If the target is wearing metal armor or is made of metal, I get a +1 circumstance bonus to my attack roll with Shocking Grasp, and it takes a d4 persistent electricity damage. What if it's made of water?
No.
Okay, fine. So,
But it is conductive.
Your water is actually a good insulator. This is stuff.
This is salt water.
all right, so that's an 18 over its touch plus
That hits.
+1.
I would like to put out that would these not be salt water? This is the sea. Salt water is very conductive.
Yeah, but it's also a water elemental, so would it actually carry the salt, or would that just not stay in the sea when it came onto deck?
Oh, goddammit. Not goddamn it at you, goddamn it at my minimum damage. So +1 enhancement from Inspire Courage means that's a 2.
3?
Just 2. It's a 1d10.
I thought you took Dangerous Sorcery.
Oh, no, wait, I lied. I lied. I grabbed the wrong dice in the first place. Yes, I took Dangerous Sorcery, but I rolled a d10 thinking it was my Tempest Surge. I should roll a d12. So actually, it's 14.
Yeah.
It started from
you just kind of like, and without even thinking, you guys just watch as he reaches out his fingers and lightning strikes out, and it to shreds. That literally rips it into ribbons of water as it just onto the ground in front of you all.
RNGesus liked you on that one.
RNGesus and my own inability to remember my damage dice. Be Christ.
Yep.
My
And
third
leaving
action,
a nice DM.
third or second or whichever action, I will raise my shield and pass turn.
All right. Also, because you have a nice GM. Because I could have totally told you to stick with that roll. Attack Bren as a water elemental, because the water elemental is not a nice person. The water elemental is quite mean. Does a 16 hit?
Yes, it does.
Ooh. Ouch. All right. Then it's going to deal 3 points of damage, and once again, you're pushed back into the water wheel, which is going to deal another point of damage, bludgeoning, as you're just pushed back into it. The captain once again shouting, "Oh, for the love of... Oh, crap!" as the water elemental itself steps forward and tries to attack you once more. I presume an 8 doesn't hit.
No, it does not.
You can hear cracks from the underneath the wheel. It does not sound as though it was intended to take this much blunt force to one side, but dire circumstances.
Yep.
This last air elemental over here by you guys is going to float over, right over here behind Mirden, and try to attack him. As it, once again, is just kind of fighting who's ever closest.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I presume that's a natural 20.
A natural 20 is a natural 20. Double dice, double odd. So...
Bloop. That's 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you just get whacked right in the back of your head by a powerfully strong gust. Like, you're kind of taking a moment off the power high of like, oh, I ripped that to shreds, as you just get like punched in the back of your head, and it sends you forward and reeling a bit. Your ears kind of ringing from the blow from that one.
That it does.
And then you just turn around.
I am going to use my reaction to eat 3 of that and let my shield get dented, I believe. Yeah. So Mirrodin feels it. Probably most of the damage is the shield denting back into him. But it's just like a big old like wooden tower shield. Just raise it up and not take as much damage.
It is going to try and attack you again, though.
Okay, sure.
Does a 4 fumble?
That fumbles. With my shield raised, my AC is 17.
It just once again tries to punch at you, but the flower just flies up in front of it, and it becomes disoriented. Not exactly sure what the exact status condition for that would be, but basically it's got like its AC and whatnot reduced because it can't see. I guess it's flat-footed. It's flat-footed until the start of its next turn.
Ha! Good. So many rogues.
First thing first, inspire courage. Get that happy time music going. Everyone's within the range of bonuses to hit.
Yep. All right then. Well then, with that, we go to Bowser next. Bowser, what are you gonna do? You just watched your friend get sucker punched by, well, your ally sucker punched by air.
Well, of course I have to continue the song, but if there be a table broad as is able, then set down a stump, a chair, or a pail. For while we war, for king and for hold, let's drink that bugman's ale.
And 18 does hit.
And he's flat-footed.
Would you roll me that damage? And he is flat-footed.
Oh, good.
He's gone. Oh my god, yeah, he's gone.
Nice.
He had 12 HP to begin with.
That's max twice.
Once again, as the creature's just kind of reeling from it, you just see, once again, that bit of a pebble that you've kind of connected as being like their core. Perhaps it's their version of a heart. You don't really care. All that's important is that it's there, and so you just yank your hand quickly inside of it, yank it out of the creature, and crush it. Just destroying it on the spot.
Cool. It's like, come on, sing with me! And then, starts running off this way. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, I don't have that much. I have 20. 20.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I forgot about Dwarf.
Bryn, you are up. At least the halfling got buffed to where they have 25 feet now.
That would be the gnome.
Oh, that was the gnome.
Yeah, gnome went up. And there's a little icon with a +1 for Inspire Courage, yeah? Or is that already factored in?
Yeah.
Oh, that is not factored in.
That I already factored it in, because with that factored in, that makes it a hit.
Awesome.
Oh, would you roll me that damage, please? Unfortunately, this is not flat-footed or anything. Once again, you start to see the core of these creatures, as mentioned before, and cut into it a bit. Not very deep, but you do get into it a bit.
Next attack roll. Because I'm kind of in a bad position here.
Okay, this will be a -2.
-2.
17 does hit, and with 7 points of damage, that one is a significantly better impact, as you're starting to get the feel of this fight now that you're in fighter mode, you're in hunter mode.
Yeah.
You felt out of your element for a bit there, because this is the first time you fought an elemental, but with that sort of, being knocked back into the steering wheel multiple times has kind of made you ill. Unbelievably. I think it's understandable to why somebody would not be, smacked around by water into a steering wheel of a ship. You just bring up the pick, and once again, think you even get a chunk of that bit of pebble cutaways. There's just like a... Like if water could bubble in pain, that would be what you just heard.
Alrighty, so I can't. I'm just reading. Okay, so Mirrodin is not doing well either, but Mirrodin realizes he's probably going to be fine, and probably can hear Bren and the captain not doing the best. So I'm gonna spend all 3 of my actions for a 3-action magic missile, targeting Elu. No, targeting obviously the water elemental. 3,
3 points of damage.
4 noise, and 3 plus, so that's 6, 10, 13, 14 from Elu, 15 from Dangerous Sorcery.
Yeah, that you just pelt the thing with magic missiles, slowly exposing the pebble, and as your last magic missile flies towards it, it impacts, shattering it into a bazillion cajillion, I exaggerate, into a bunch of pieces, just kind of spilling the water on the deck. And Bryn is kind of just left there gasping for breath as you all just kind of run forward.
Yeah, if we have time, Mirden is going to make his way to Bren, reach out, and hopefully he'll take it for this +3. Man, go where you need to be. There we go. For a grand total of 4 damage healed back, I will spend the other one to just...
wouldn't that be 5 healed back?
Dangerous Sorcerer, I mean, is he undead? I think it has to be a spell that deals damage for Dangerous Sorcery to go off.
Yeah, but healing is considered a type of damage, considering the fact it could do damage to an undead. I'd say it count.
Okay, 5 it is then. And then the second one, using all the healing spells I have prepared to make it 7. So he's healed 12 damage. Just assuming he will allow me to touch him. That's the only real hang up here.
The storm kind of churns as you all manage to kill these elementals. You all feel a brief moment of sight before a loud crackling noise erupts overhead. The captain turns and looks to you all. We're not out of this yet! My guess is they still got something more in there. Get ready. We might have a few moments of reprise before they come back again.
What did Bren roll the 1 for?
Alright, then.
I'm scared.
Evens, I rejected your help. Odds, I kept it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh my god.
So
okay,
Mirden just moves over to his wound. Just come here, lad. Let me help you. And just put my hand on your shoulder and pray until the wounds close.
And that actually 12 takes me back up to full speed.
Yeah, so with the captain saying we're not out of it yet, I'd settle back into my stance. So bring on the ale, the beer without fail, of Barlasted stories regale. Tomorrow we fight at dawn's first light, but tonight the bookman's ale.
He just glances over at you, then glances down at Elu and shouts, I thought you were the bard!
Nope, not even.
Yeah, my songs actually do something.
Oh, okay then. But yeah,
Hey,
so...
My
Yours are
songs
good.
do something too. They make me drink more.
Ha! Alright, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to watch me kill my character. We'll see you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye!
Bye!
Later.